ask you, who will go to those lanes to tell you about travel deals? All right, now it's time for the tough part. It's time to say goodbye. I know I speak for all of us here at Steals and Deals when I say it's been fun, it's been exciting, and it's been trying at times. But for the last 8 years, it's always been rewarding for us to present our show to you. We've always been fortunate to have a team that cares about protecting people. You've heard them tell you yourselves. And also righting the wrongs. It's this group that we believe in and our roles, and we love our roles here. We're all proud to have been a part of this, and we would like to we would be remiss if we didn't mention our alumni who have gone on to other jobs. They too hold a special place for Steals and Deals. We thank them for their support. Glenn Ruppel, Mark Rosenwig, and Andy Friendly, true guardian angels. Others too numerous to name, from our interns to on-air contributors to field producers. They all hold a very special place in our hearts for their tremendous talent. And now it's on to our present team. First, the folks behind the scenes. Our fearless director, Grant, who will try anything and take chances. Thank you, and thank you to his control room colleagues. And we would not have a show without these guys, our talented studio crew. Ain't they handsome? And the men who man our assignment desks. Make sure our out-of-town guests get here through the magic of television. Also handsome. And Jim Gentles, who was here from Steals and Deals from the beginning. Thanks for getting our tape on every night and for being with us for 8 years. And Sangman, our creative force in the graphics department. We give him enough to work with. And we can't forget the people who make us beautiful, Pauline and Rosemary. Many thanks. And now to our core group, the committed, caring, and professional people who are much more than colleagues. As you can tell, they're my family. I feel so lucky and so thankful to have spent so many hours and days with these people. Michelle and Sheila have been the faces you've known for many years. We have a lot of history together, and we share a bond that will remain together for many more years. I wouldn't know which camera to look at without the smiling face pointing at me and counting me down every night. Thank you, Horace. He's the best. And it's the field producers who put their talent and energy into the stories you see. They often go unrecognized. Larry and I, Gil, have been traveling, and we've spent a lot of moments together plotting, planning, and busting the bad guys. Larry and Gil, thanks for working so hard and for keeping us laughing. He did the nude piece, got me to do that. And Alan and Chris are newer to our staff, and I thank them for their commitment as well. Karen books all the best guests so that you can get the latest deals and gadgets and travel and everything else. Karen, thanks for being so professional and so positive. And our favorite gizwiz, the only gizwiz, Dickie D. Yeah. And the rest of our wonderful contributors, too long to mention. We would never make it to air without Rob, and Edie. I don't know how they do it, but they make sure every detail, editorial and technical, is taken care of. They run up and down the stairs so fast I can't even see them. You are the greatest team. And now for the two people who put their heart and soul into the show every single night, the team that comes in early and stays late, makes the show sing, as we say, gives the word punch, pizzazz, and meaning. Vicki Pomerantz and Merrill Major. Vicki, thank you for your unending loyalty, commitment, and true love for Steals and Deals. And Merrill, what can I say? You came in with a smile almost 2 years ago to lead the troops, and you never lost it. I thank you for being so supportive, energetic, creative, and smart. You believed in this show, and you believed in me. And so I say thank you for all of us. Now, for the last time on CNBC, we close by saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. I'm Janice Lieberman for the best team on television. Good night. Thank you.
This is a CNBC News Break. I'm John Snyder. In Florida, that lawsuit filed by 60,000 non-smoking flight attendants has been settled, with tobacco companies agreeing to pay $300 million to study the effects of secondhand smoke. No survivors of a small plane crash in Colorado. The plane was headed to Arizona with 8 government workers and a pilot on board. When it was reported missing on Wednesday, the plane was found today. In and around Acapulco, Mexico, the cleanup from Hurricane Pauline will take months. At least 141 are dead. Double that number are injured. Thousands of homes destroyed. Some 300,000 people are homeless. American Jody Williams and her international campaign to ban landmines have been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Williams and her group were instrumental in an international treaty to ban the explosives that kill and maim 26,000 people a year. On Wall Street, the Dow was down by 16 points. More news in 30 minutes here on CNBC.
I don't know what's up outdoors. Your guess is as good as mine. This is the Carrier Indoor Weather Report. Indoor weather is ideal in Death Valley. Perfect up in Alaska, fair and mild in New Orleans, and everywhere else you find Carrier indoor weather systems that have been making the weather you like since 1902. Which brings us to the long-range forecast. It'll be just the way you like it next year. Your cup of tea at the turn of the century, and custom-made for the new millennium.
Carrier custom-made indoor weather.
Maybe you've never been in an accident, but I bet your car's got airbags, right? And maybe your house has never burned down, but I bet you've got smoke detectors. You're prepared for everything, but I bet you don't have flood insurance. Truth is, flood damages many homes as fires. Now flood insurance is easy to get from the National Flood Insurance Program. So protect yourself. Because many people think their homeowner's insurance will cover flood damage. It doesn't. Only flood insurance enables you to rebuild your life without having to go deep into debt. Floods can happen anywhere. Storms cause rivers to overflow. New construction can cause runoff. The ground gets saturated. Soon the rising water is at your door. With floods, you can never say never. Give yourself peace of mind. Call your insurance company, agent, or this toll-free number.
Legendary architect Mies van der Rohe once said that God is in the details. If that's true, maybe this is what the pearly gates look like.
Hi, Angel. I'm home.
Clopay Garage Doors. For a free brochure, call 1-800-2-CLOPAY. They come like the night wind. The sleek steamers and wood-burning smokers with names like Nickel Plate, Union Pacific, and Milwaukee Road. These are the mighty snorting iron horses that take you to magical, faraway places. A wondrous excursion to dreamland. Trains Unlimited. Mondays at 10 on the History Channel.
Welcome to City Flavors, New York's restaurant video guide. With the cooler weather, we head straight for ye Waverly Inn in Greenwich Village. A perfectly preserved 19th century classic. It's cozy and romantic. Choose any of the traditional favorites. Chicken pot pie, baked meatloaf, or my favorite, roast stuffed turkey. You won't be disappointed. After dinner, be sure to linger over one of the many fireplaces. Ye Waverly Inn, an enchanting jewel. 16 Bank Street off Greenwich Avenue and 7th Avenue South. It's popular, so book early.
Steals and deals, your movers could move you right into the poorhouse. A special hidden camera investigation. That's coming up right now. Also tonight, the next car crash you hear could involve your car. Prepare now. Plus, you'll look great with that suntan, but not to this camera. And when you know there's water, but not a drop to drink, calling the wrong plumber could leave you even drier.
All tonight on the Best of Steals and Deals. Now here's Janice Lieberman.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Best of Steals and Deals, our recap of the hottest tips and biggest scams. First up tonight, each year, a staggering 42 million Americans move to a new address. But do you really know much about the company moving your goods? Tonight, our Sheila Steinbeck joins us from Los Angeles with homeowner horrors. Welcome, Sheila.
Hi, Jen. As you know, before you hire a mover, you better check them out. You may get boxed into a corner and your furniture held hostage. That is, unless you cough up unexpected cash. I just need to see your license before we do this.
I'm not doing the move.
Do you have a license?
What?
Do you have a license?
I don't understand.
They may call themselves Strong and Gentle, but what some people are calling this New York moving company is too nasty to repeat.
I wouldn't recommend them to my worst enemy. I really wouldn't.
Angela and Vinnie Canestresi say they hired Strong and Gentle after seeing a flyer advertising low rates. They were quoted an estimate over the phone, but never got one in writing.
They come in with a paper. They tell you, how much it is an hour and stuff. And then they come in with a paper that says packing, and they tell you to sign it. But there's no prices on it.
The couple says the workman called the blank packing form a formality, and the couple signed it. Little did they know.
We're telling them, don't wrap anything, and they're still wrapping. Because he tells you, don't worry.
Soon, the Canestresis were up to their eyeballs in bubble wrap, boxes, and tape.
Boxes were about, 5.5 feet tall, 6 feet tall. I don't have stuff that big. And there were these boxes going out of my house because they were taking out bodies or something. That when they bought the piece of furniture and we didn't even know what it was.
Exactly.
All they would have had to do was put a blanket on it.
By the time Vinnie and Angela arrived at their new home, they say the original estimate of $450 had grown to a bill of more than $900. But most of it was for packing materials. They say the movers strong-armed them into paying, claiming if they didn't, their furniture would be taken away.
I'm very surprised that I let this happen to me.
It was a total nightmare.
Strong and Gentle is no stranger to Marilyn Marone either.
I never really heard of them, to tell you the truth. There was a flyer under a windshield. And that's how I just picked it up. And, of course, they advertised low rates, and that's why I had called.
Once again, she says, an estimate was given over the phone, but not in writing. Low rates maybe, but unexpected charges, too.
He gave me all these papers to sign, which I had to sign because I knew that we were running out of time. I didn't have time to read anything.
Signing a blank packing form would soon cost her dearly.
They didn't tell me they were going to box anything other than the TV, the VCR, the computer, and I think the glass from the table.
What she says was a $147 estimate would soon be a thing of the past.
When he handed me that bill for $900, I almost died. I couldn't believe it. How the price could escalate so from $147 to $900.
So where do all the charges come from? $168 for bubble wrap, $77 for tape, not to mention $48 for 6 mattress covers, even though Marilyn just has 1 queen-size bed, 1 mattress, 1 box spring. And that doesn't begin to tell you about the cost of all the boxes.
They go from the other side, and they have 4 boxes that come this way, and then they staple them together. And they did this for each of the 3 pieces.
We've gotten over 50 complaints on them, and not only have we gotten these complaints, they haven't even responded to most of them. There's a pattern to the complaints, and it is they charge much more than they said they would, most commonly for packing materials.
Packing a punch with packing materials, and that isn't all. New York City requires movers to be licensed by the Department of Transportation. Strong and Gentle isn't. But that didn't stop these guys from showing up in a rental truck when we scheduled an appointment for a fictitious Gomez family in Manhattan. Here, Strong and Gentle movers, where's your license?
We're not the movers. We're not the movers.
But you showed up for Gomez apartment 301.
Well, no.
They claim to be dropping off boxes, but to whom and where? They didn't stick around to answer. Why did you run away?
What do you want?
We followed them for almost 2 hours, stopping and starting along the way. It seems Strong and Gentle likes to keep on the move, and no one is stopping them.
I was ripped off. I feel like money was extorted from me. I feel it's very unfair that no one in this city is doing anything about this.
When Marilyn and the Canestresis could not get Strong and Gentle to respond to alleged overcharges, they filed complaints with the Better Business Bureau. But as in the past, Strong and Gentle did not respond. We tried to discuss the complaints with the company, but it did not respond to our repeated phone calls before or after we set up our move. And when we could not find them at addresses they give to callers over the phone, we couldn't find them there. Both the Better Business Bureau and the New York Department of Transportation believe Strong and Gentle is associated with MIFA movers. MIFA had their license revoked by the DOT and was fined $46,000 for routinely overcharging customers. So how can you avoid this from happening to you? first. Check state and local agencies to make sure your mover has the required licenses. Also, contact your local Better Business Bureau to see if the company has outstanding complaints. Get a binding estimate, and please make sure it is in writing. And never, ever sign any document that isn't completely filled out. Janice?
Tips to learn now so you don't get stuck later. Sheila, you'll be back later on in the show with part 2. What's up for that?
In part 2, we're going to have a series that's going to tell you about moving yourself, just what's involved in that.
Been through it. Looking forward to it. All right, Sheila, thanks so much. It's a startling statistic. Once every 2 weeks, a child chokes and dies because of a string that hangs from your home mini blinds. And it is a tragedy that doesn't have to happen. As Beverly Kirk reports, there are steps you can take to keep your child safe.
Many modern homes have window blinds of one type or another, horizontal or vertical. The study calls the cords on the blinds a hidden hazard, perhaps because the deaths happen in places where you normally think your child is safe, in a crib or in the child's bedroom.
Megan was standing in the corner of the crib, and the blind was askew, and she had the cord wrapped around under her chin. Paramedics had come, and they worked feverishly to try to revive her, but it was already too late.
The study finds that children such as Megan often get tangled in the cords while they're sleeping or playing in their cribs. Toddlers can get caught in the cords trying to look out a window. They slip, fall, and then get tangled.
They're very sturdy, so the child can hang on the window cord and the blind will not fall down.
The study finds that most strangulations involve Venetian or mini blinds and that removing the cord hazard is pretty simple. Or you can move cribs, beds, or other furniture away from the mini blinds.
The child who's getting strangled can't call out. It's a silent death.
The commission says the industry has agreed to stop putting loops on window cords and to provide free safety tassels to consumers. Plus, the industry is also putting a tensioning device on continuous loop cords used in vertical blinds as yet another safety precaution. Beverly Kirk in Washington for Steals and Deals.
The Consumer Product Safety Commission estimates as many as 359 children strangled in window cords over the past 15 years. And many of those cases involve toddlers under the age of 3. For more information, you can call the CPSC hotline at 800-638-2772. And we'll be right back with why and how you should prepare for an auto accident now, before the crash. And you'll be teed off if the authorities catch you with counterfeit clubs. Stay with us.
How many 1997 Geo Metro coupes can you buy for the price of one Ferrari F50 convertible? The answer in a moment.
This program is brought to you by Ford and Lincoln Mercury Quality Care.
You like the way you feel when you get what you need, like the key to your heart, like a break in the weather. You deserve someone who's always there at your service. Quality care.
Quality Care Service from Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealers.
We look at our parents. We look at our teachers. Does history repeat itself? Today's New York Times. Every day we reveal a world of wonder that others miss. How far have we gone? Where else will we go? The New York Times. Expect the world.
Hi, sis. I know it's my turn to go and help Mom, but...
Oh, I have a meeting. I'll try Carol.
Okay, I'll be there as soon as I can.
If you find it hard to give a loved one all the help they need, there's only one phone call to make. Kelly Assisted Living can provide additional and ongoing assistance with dressing, bathing, cooking, and errands.
Hi, Mom. You look great. Thanks, Marie.
For care and companionship in your own home, call Kelly Assisted Living.
This is CNBC.
CNBC, the global leader in business information, now brings you the news with Brian Williams.
But our lead story tonight,
the only network-produced nightly hour of news in prime time.
Pentagon's trying to figure
The news with Brian Williams.
the FBI crime.
Now, every weeknight on CNBC.
A series of tornadoes ripping
It's
through
the only network-produced nightly hour of news on television.
Justice correspondent.
The news with Brian Williams.
NBC is Roger.
Weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern on CNBC.
How many 1997 Geo Metro coupes can you buy for the price of one Ferrari F50 convertible? 56 3/4.
That is sick. Welcome back. It's called the Aloha State. Now it may be named the toughest state against drunk drivers. Hawaii will be the first state to require emergency room doctors to hand over blood alcohol tests to authorities if alcohol levels exceed the legal limit. Would like to see the law go nationwide. Doctors will not be liable and will be granted immunity when complying with the law. And drunk drivers are one reason for auto accidents. It's estimated there will be 34 million car crashes on the nation's roads this year. Whether it be a minor fender bender or an all-out collision, you need to be prepared. Don't get taken for a ride by paying big bucks. Listen and learn first. On average, there's about one accident per second every day, 365 days a year, causing billions of dollars in damage and countless hours of headaches. It's hard to predict when it's going to happen to you, but the chances are it will eventually happen.
The odds are that in the next 9 years, you're going to have an accident.
Ron Alford runs a company called Disaster Master. He prepares businesses and individuals for disasters, and he's written 2 consumer books on insurance issues.
It's not possible to have a wreck and not freak out, all right? Psychologically, people get off kilter because what it's called is an out-of-course event. It's something that you did not plan on that day.
So it's important to be ready when that accident occurs. Well, what should you do? How can you ensure that your car will be fixed properly and on time? Well, there are several steps you can take today before that unfortunate event happens in the future. First, pick a collision shop now, before an accident. Not all shops are equal. Get recommendations from friends and see if the shop has any special credentials. The worst thing you could do is decide the day of the accident where to bring your car. You never know what you'll get.
A lot of the shops around, they know what they're doing, but then there are shops that are out on the side streets and backyard shops that just do substandard work, and the safety factor is not considered while they're repairing these vehicles.
Next, choose your insurance company wisely. There are thousands of companies across America. Cost should not be the only consideration. You want a company that will give you good service and pay for all the repairs you need. Ask some collision shops in your area who they think is best. They're the ones that deal with insurance companies on a regular basis.
It is very important to choose the proper company, and the thing you want to look for is the service. If you have an accident, are they going to take care of you immediately, or are they going to run around, you must bring your car here, you must bring your car there? That's not right.
Make sure you have a disaster kit in your car. It should include a cell phone, disposable camera, and flashlight. When Steals and Deals field producer Larry Posner recently touched bumpers with another car, the other car owner said she was going to file a claim. Until she saw Larry take out a camera to document there was no actual damage.
But I was just trying to protect myself. I wanted to take pictures of this area where I didn't see any damage. As soon as she saw me taking the pictures, her tone seemed to change, and she said she probably wasn't going to file a claim.
Taking pictures protects you from shady collision shops that create more damage to a car after the accident. This police surveillance video shows mechanics actually using a sledgehammer to hike up the repair bill.
Would you drive your car without a spare tire? Absolutely not. Nobody in their right mind does that. So why should you drive your car without a collision recovery kit in the car with you?
Finally, make sure you get the other driver's information. Things like the driver's name, address, license number, and witnesses. It will all make your life easier if a claim needs to be filed. It helps to have all this information on a pre-printed form, so all you have to do is fill in the blanks.
It's part of the legal aspect of the business of insurance and the business of wrecks. The cops and the government want to have records of all this, and it's imperative that you exchange this information.
So if this ever happens to you, you'll be one step ahead of most if you plan ahead for the worst. For a free pamphlet on how to prepare for a car accident, you can send a self-addressed stamped envelope to The Plan, 44 Dare Court, New York, 11229, or you can log on to the World Wide Web at theplan.com. Stress is one thing that can make us tired all day long. Not good. The National Sleep Foundation's Gallup survey says 95% of Americans who suffer from sleep disorders don't know they have them. And feeling tired or sleepy all the time can be dangerous. Other findings from the survey, of those who reported daytime sleepiness, nearly 40% admit it interferes with day-to-day activities at least some of the time. 16% say sleepiness interferes with their job, and 12% say it has interfered with their ability to drive. You can call 888-41-AWAKE for a free brochure on excessive daytime sleepiness. According to the foundation, about 1,500 car crash fatalities a year in the U.S. are blamed on the driver falling asleep. Bogey or bogus? Federal agents are cracking down on golf clubs. You know, the kind you swing. They look top of the line, but they're not up to par. So golfers be warned. As Ted Chen reports, if you buy these knockoffs, you may be fooled on the fairway.
It is the newest and hottest black market, and the government is trying to crush it. These are counterfeit golf club heads manufactured overseas, then assembled and sold illegally in the United States, sometimes at a tenth of the price of the big-name clubs, yet made to look just like them.
You should not purchase these clubs. They are illegal.
Look closely and you'll see the difference. A knockoff King Snake club made to look like a King Cobra. A Canterbury Big Brother club, remarkably similar to the well-known Callaway Big Bertha.
They can be sold in retail shops. We're finding them sold over the internet. They can be sold in swap meets.
Demand for the knockoff clubs has skyrocketed along with the popularity of golf itself. Officials say consumers are misled into thinking the fakes are being made by the same big-name companies and are of the same quality.
A lot of the invoices and a lot of the advertising material will claim titanium, while our customs lab tests show that there's less than 0.1% titanium. So the consumer is not only not getting titanium, but he may be getting a club that could break, the head could fly off.
For the past year, U.S. Customs has seized more than 200 shipments, and many of the illegal components are being chopped up and recycled. The L.A. harbor in Long Beach is one of the major ports used by the smugglers, but officials say because of the crackdown, the smugglers have had to move to other ports and raise their prices.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then a new kind of camera is speaking a mouthful. This one takes pictures that are more than skin deep and shows you how your healthy tan is anything but. Emily Stroud focuses on our story.
This is the Sun Smart camera. It can look into your past to see the skin damage the sun has caused. First, a regular photograph, then a photograph using a special lens that highlights what the sun has done below the surface. I use sunscreen, so it's not that bad, but there's still some damage.
And we'll take your photograph with a special lens.
Bill Lang grew up on the beach. Look at the dramatic difference between his regular photo and the one with the Sun Smart lens. The lesson?
The hole in the world's only safe tan in my hand. It's the self-tanner, and a number of companies put it out.
Wearing sunscreen with a sun protection factor between 15 and 30 is important every day.
A lot of your sun damage comes when you're a child, when you're outside playing, and you get so much sun during those early years of your life that you really need to get that sunscreen on. That's very important.
Look at the difference sunscreen makes. The right side of 3-year-old Joseph Lang's face is covered in 30 sunscreen. The Sun Smart camera shows that it creates a mask of sun protection that we all need. For Steals and Deals, I'm Emily Stroud.
Now, keep in mind, most sun damage happens before you hit 20, so make sure your kids use sunscreen every day. Coming up, it might look like a regular car to you and me, but the cops are using it as bait to catch the bad guys. And if you want to catch the news, all you'll need to do is click. We'll be right back.
This is
feels strong and dependable, yet refreshing. Fix-It and Fresh, a stronger, longer hold, combined with a cool, crisp sensation. Fix-It and Fresh, and forget it.
There's a place no more than a few hours away where cats fly and cows swim. A place where the sun rises on one ocean and sets on another. In a place like this, anything's possible. The Conch Republic.
Could you help me with the computer?
You need a laptop.
That's too small. I just wanted something to email my grandson.
Email. I got one word for you. Video conferencing. This puppy, great for presentations. 80 megs of RAM, DVD, lots of fonts. You like fonts? Of course you do. Everybody likes fonts. 900 megawatts, 1200 dpi color print.
Gateway systems feature Intel Pentium processors. Call us and get one that's right for you.
Maybe you like high tech, healthcare, or the electronics sector. But which stocks do you buy? It's not easy to know, which is why you should consider Fidelity Sector Funds, where you select the industry and let our experts pick the companies. Because Fidelity does what you don't have time to. Research over 6,000 companies and track new developments every day. So diversify your portfolio. For a free sector fund investing guide, call 1-800-FIDELITY.
Welcome back. It's bark versus bite, and bite seems to be worse. An increase in serious dog bites in the U.S. between 1986 and 1994 is being blamed partly on people buying more ferocious dogs for protection. And the upturn is a major 37%. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, 800,000 people sought medical care for dog bites in 1994. That's one person every 40 seconds. The officials also point to improved reporting of bites and irresponsible pet owners who don't train their guard dogs as other causes for the increase. News like that is flying all around us on television, on radio, and on the internet. But James Lewis says there's a different way to catch the news. It's appropriately called the newscatcher.
Okay, so you're typing along. Creative juices are flowing when... What the heck was that? That was information you've told the newscatcher to catch for you. And just what is the newscatcher? You may have seen this little pyramid at a computer store selling for about $100. It claims to get you in touch with the world without wires. So how well does it work? Actually, pretty well. I'm not so sure it's worth $10 a month, but technically it's pretty cool. The receiver's inside here. Just plug it into your computer. Setup is pretty easy. The newscatcher gives you a lot of choices, including email. Suppose you want an alert when new scores come in. Just click this little icon, and there's your score. It works the same way with 5 different sports. And depending on the setup, it'll even break in and give you the box score. Need travel weather? Just click on the state, then the city. It has a stock market ticker and business news. Newscatcher also gives you world news, but that is its weakest point. Headline news tells you where it came from, but all too often, you don't know the source. And this hyperlink at the bottom of the screen promises details if you have internet access, except it doesn't. Newscatcher claims they cover 95% of the country. Is it worth $100 up front plus another 10 a month? Maybe. That's up to you. But I can tell you it works. Questions or comments, send email to compulewis@aol.com. For NBC News, I'm James Lewis in the Computer Corner.
So that's called the newscatcher. Well, you may want to call this catching a thief 90 style. Just put out a trap and the crooks will come. Rick Chambers reports on a special car that cops hope will put the brakes on auto theft.
Go to the alley. Go in the alley. Go in the alley.
You're watching through a tiny hidden camera as thieves steal a car in Ventura County. But this is no ordinary car. It's a bait car designed specifically by the police to shut down and then trap the thieves just seconds after they steal it.
See your hands right now, boss. Put your hands up in the air.
We take the vehicle, we have a police officer drop the vehicle off, exit the vehicle, and then we stand by setting up surveillance around that vehicle.
There's a full team.
And usually within minutes, sometimes seconds, car thieves take the bait. In this case, an adult talks a juvenile into driving and then blames his younger buddy and asks him to take the fall when they get caught.
Told you, fool. Tell them that you took it, fool, that you took it, though.
Ventura County detectives have been using bait cars in high crime areas for some 16 months. And the DA says the video makes prosecution a piece of cake.
Nobody's gotten off since we've charged them. The cases are pretty straightforward. The crime is on videotape. The statements are on videotape. And as a prosecutor, you couldn't ask for more.
On this night, the trapped driver decides to punch his way out the window, but is grabbed just outside. A new car with the keys in the ignition is obviously tempting to some people. But is it entrapment? The DA's office says no.
We don't tell anybody to take the car. There's no sign on the car that says, steal me. And we're not making anybody get into that car.
But to date, some 36 thieves have gotten into that car and ended up in jail.
And while we're dealing with cars, how about dealing with some of the people driving them? It's getting to epidemic proportions, and it's called road rage. Plus, the noises you hear every day may be making you hear less every day. That's called noise pollution. We'll have those stories and much more when the second half of the Best of Steals and Deals comes your way in just a moment.
When the founders of SEI Investments met at Wharton 30 years ago,
it's people and relationships.
They agreed that building a better investment company would take equal parts.
We need a disciplined, scientific approach.
Scientific discipline and strong personal relationships. Today, that same balance keeps SEI Investments unique, crafting comprehensive investment strategies for discerning clients. SEI Investments, the art of people, the science of results.
This town counts on me. No time to get slowed down by irregularities. My doctor suggested Metamucil, the only leading brand with 100% natural fiber.
Keeps me regular gently so I can keep up.
Metamucil, the doctor's natural choice for regularity.
11825, code 6, 105 North Avenue, 52. Turbo 600 North Mont. Increasing conditions are 10-2. 6 Charlie. 6 Charlie.
10-4. Celebrate New York's rich Italian-American heritage at the 53rd Annual Columbus Day Parade. Grab a front row seat on New York One for live coverage of the excitement and pageantry of this great New York tradition. Watch the Columbus Day Parade Monday, October 13th, live on New York One. New York One's coverage of the Columbus Day Parade is sponsored by Rai International, the Italian worldwide television.
Hi, everybody. I'm Janice Lieberman. Welcome back to the Best of Steals and Deals. One more road problem to contend with, and it's not the traffic or bad road conditions. It may be the driver next to you hogging the road. Those pedal pushers may be responsible for 218 highway deaths in the last 6 years. Beverly Kirk has the story.
You've seen them on the road, drivers who tailgate, cut other drivers off, make obscene gestures, or make a turn and never signal. This type of aggressive driving has spawned numerous accidents, according to AAA, that have resulted in injury and death.
It's not a new phenomenon. The idea of people getting angry when they drive is not a new one. But people are acting out their anger more now, I think.
Bill Barth is a driver who admits he once got angry enough at the wheel to take action against another driver.
So I just immediately started braking. I swerved into the other oncoming traffic lane. I couldn't help it because I had to go all the way around, and I went all the way around, and he just smashed right into the parked car.
Bill got help from a psychologist to conquer his aggressive driving problem. AAA says some of the most common behaviors that trigger aggressive drivers to take action, in addition to cutting people off, include driving too slowly in the left or passing lane, not using a turn signal, or following too closely.
People's cars are an extension of their personality. So when you follow too closely, they feel you're invading their space, and it can make them mad.
AAA says you can try to avoid aggressive driving situations by giving other drivers a break. Mouth an apology instead of getting angry if you miss a turn signal or if you change lanes a bit too quickly.
Don't think that you can show other drivers anything, because you can't.
And just move on, because it's not healthy, it's not worth it, and life is just way too short to really get involved.
Beverly Kirk in Washington for Steals and Deals.
Stephanie Fall says she hopes now that aggressive driving has been recognized as a growing problem, drivers will be more forgiving of each other. Aggressive drivers are one source of stress. Aggressive noise is another. Leaf blowers, mowers, boom boxes, loud mufflers. Well, you name it, it's out there. Noise is a byproduct of living in our crowded, mechanized world. And it is harmful to your ears. Just listen to our report from Doug McKelway.
A quiet spring day on the Georgetown waterfront until... Move a few blocks up from the river and you're assaulted by this.
Hey, guys!
It is a noisy world and getting noisier. And society is paying a price. 1 out of 3 Americans today, over the age of 65, suffers hearing loss.
What we're also seeing is younger people suffering hearing loss.
The problem was illustrated perfectly during this interview.
Let's let this truck pass first.
Yes. Perfect example.
Let's let that jet pass.
Yes. And...
Let's let that jet pass.
Yes.
Doctors know that any noise over 85 decibels becomes problematic after repeated exposures. We decided to measure common environmental noises with this Radio Shack decibel meter. We didn't have to go far to find loud noise.
80 decibels.
We also, in the house, have a noisier world because of all the appliances that we have.
Walter Berry has been using chainsaws for 16 years. He seldom uses ear protection because it blocks the sounds of wood cracking or of his coworkers' voices.
You have hearing loss?
Some, yes.
You know it?
Yeah, I can tell.
How do you tell?
Well, when my wife calls me in, I say what, more than once, then I know there's something going on there.
Increasingly, people who work in noisy environments often choose leisure activities that are also noisy. Dave Weekley, an NBC technician, is an avid Harley rider.
I like when my bike sets off car alarms, especially when people are in them. So we just don't care.
Whether you care or not, we may all be sustaining damage from noise pollution. This is what happens to a hair cell in your ear at a safe decibel level. Now, an unsafe level. Unlike other cells, this one will never heal. It is one effect of noise pollution. There are others.
It's gotten to the point where I don't see the point in trying to listen anymore.
Well, here are 3 warning signs that you may have suffered noise-induced hearing loss. First, a ringing in your ears. Also, you can hear people in conversation but can't make out their words. And after being around loud sounds, you find some hearing impairment lingers for hours. If you have any of these symptoms, see a doctor. You may have already damaged your hearing. Well, drivers and noise pollutants are stress makers. Is your job another? Do you think someone else has a cushy position? You're going to be surprised. And find out whether you're giving yourself a steal or a deal by moving yourself. All that and much more when we come back.
What is the #1 fitness routine for most Americans? The answer in a moment.
CNBC's Business Center is about power. Who's got it and how they did it.
Business Center is about money, people making money, and what they're doing with their money.
Business Center premieres Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, only at CNBC. CNBC congratulates Charles Grodin for his Cable Ace nomination for Best Talk Show Host and his third consecutive nomination for Best Talk Show Series. The Charles Grodin Show, weeknights at 11 p.m. Eastern, only at CNBC.
I knew there had to be a perfectly good explanation why my regular pad didn't work as well at night. It wasn't made to work when I'm lying down. Then I tried new Always Overnight. Much better. When I lie down, they cover where my regular pad misses. They're longer, front to back, with wings that cover side to side. Translation, better protection where I need it. And Dry Weave helps keep it cleaner and drier all night long. New Always Overnights, in thick and ultra thin. Cleaner, drier, better overnight protection.
We look at our parents. We look at our teachers. Does history repeat itself? Today's New York Times. Every day we reveal a world of wonder that others miss. How far have we gone? Where else will we go? The New York Times. Expect the world.
International funds. They can diversify your portfolio and help offset market fluctuations here at home. But to invest wisely, you need local knowledge. You need fidelity and the strength of our overseas specialists, professionals who are electronically linked. With on-the-scene insights, they uncover opportunities others may miss. It's how Fidelity brings the world to your portfolio. For a free international investing kit, call 1-800-FIDELITY.
Herbst, Marion Roussel may be one of the world's preeminent pharmaceutical companies, but we can't make John Cruz take his medicine. We can't make him see his pharmacist to refill his prescription, and we can't make him exercise or do anything his doctor advises. We can't make him, but for his sake, together, we're sure going to try. Because more goes into good health than just good medicine. Herbst, Marion Roussel.
What is the #1 fitness routine for most Americans? Fitness walking, followed by these.
And welcome back, everyone. It's a stressful life, and much of it is work-related. But is stress the same for everyone? Is a stay-at-home mom feeling the same level as an emergency medical technician? Well, reporter Diane Diaz puts them both to the test for the Stress Showdown.
Tammy Cheney is off to an emergency call. Karen Sachs is getting her kids ready for school.
Get your waffle ready, okay, honey? Is that too tight?
Tammy is an emergency medical technician. Karen is a stay-at-home mother of 3. Both women have agreed to wear a heart monitor for a full day. The results are very interesting. For Tammy, the toughest part of her day is...
Well, we get, of course, emergency medical calls. We respond on scene to them. We assist fire and paramedics in stabilizing them. We take them to the hospital.
When the emergency comes in, Tammy's heart rate jumps from 87 beats per minute to 130.
Hey, where's Jessica?
Karen faces different kinds of emergencies. When she loses sight of her little girl, her heart races to 135 beats per minute. And, well, it doesn't stay that high all day. During the morning rush to get her kids out the door,
Erica, finish brushing your teeth, please.
Her heart rate hovers at 117 for the entire hour. Our conclusion, both women face a great deal of stress. An average resting heart rate is 72. Tammy's is 98. Karen's is 100. In the 12-hour period we tested, Tammy's highest stress level registered at 167. Karen topped out at 160.
And talk about stress. You're moving to a new home. You don't need a big moving company to pack you up and get you on your way. So what else do you do? Well, these days, many Americans just do it themselves. Our Sheila Steinbeck joins us again from Los Angeles with tips before you hit the road. Sheila?
Yeah, I know you're one of those Americans too, Jan. We'll talk about that later. But whether you're a college kid moving out on your own or a family trying to stretch $1, when it comes to renting a truck and doing it yourself, we found it pays to shop around. Whether you haul it alone or pack and move with another rider, The key to do-it-yourself moves is getting a truck to fit your needs and budget.
This is a 24-footer. This holds 1,500 square feet or 5 or more rooms worth of furniture. The second is a 15-footer. That holds about 750 square feet or 3 to 4 rooms worth of furniture.
This is the van?
The third is the van, and that holds 1 or 2 rooms worth of furniture and is 295 square feet. And the last here is a pickup truck, which you move locally like a appliance or something like that.
I see. Once you've decided on a truck size, you can then start dealing with the price. We called several national truck companies to tell them we wanted to move a 3-bedroom house full of furniture from New York to Miami. Here's what we found. Ryder offered the best rate, $1,093 for a 6-day rental of a 24-foot truck. Budget came in a close second at $1,140 for the same 6-day rental. U-Haul offered us a 26-foot truck for 7 days at $1,314. A $200 range in prices right from the start, and that does not include tax, insurance, or extra mileage, which can quickly add up. Even though we're traveling between the same cities, some companies offered us a better mileage deal with the initial cost of the truck. For instance, when we inquired about renting a truck to drive from Seattle to Dallas, budget came up tops, the lowest price with the highest mileage, $723 with 2,700 miles included with the cost of the truck. U-Haul came up with $785, but 350 miles less at 2,346 miles. Ryder was the most expensive, but ranked in second place with mileage, $910 for 2,552 miles. Excess mileage charges can quickly add up, and at 20 to 60 cents for each extra mile, it pays to haggle and get additional free miles up front. So you have the truck, you've haggled about the mileage. What about the other items you'll need to make the move more manageable? These look familiar over here.
Yeah, these are the furniture pads. These are very helpful when you're moving something like a nice piece of furniture or something like that you want to wrap and stop it from being scratched or just protect it. And you can feel how soft it is, so it is pretty helpful. This is what we call a hand truck, and this is good for moving like a refrigerator or some other heavy appliance, or moving boxes. You can stack boxes up on it and tie them in.
And don't forget the wheels for your wheels.
This is a car transport. All 4 wheels are off the ground. That's the good thing about this. This is a car dolly. The front 2 wheels are off the ground, and the car is pulled as you go. The thing to remember about this, though, is if you have a rear-wheel drive car, you want to have the drive shaft disconnected so you don't ruin the transmission.
All 3 rental companies were willing to make deals with us when we told them we were shopping around. So remember, in most cases, their first price is not their final price, Jan.
I wish I would have spoken to you before my move. Actually, I got the dolly, and I definitely recommend that because it's much easier. You're crazier if you don't get that.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. You think that you've got a lot of big, strong arms working with you, right? And then it turns out that dolly really helped you in transporting stuff, getting it to and from vehicles?
Oh, yeah, and even pizza and beer wouldn't help that much. What do you have for next weekend on the Best of Steals and Deals, Sheila?
Janice, what we have coming up is that we found a company out of the Midwest that will move all your stuff for you, but at do-it-yourself prices. It's a professional moving company. Their prices are low, but your stuff has to be little. We're also going to show you how to pack if you're going to do it on your own, so you could save that fine china.
All right, we look forward to it. Have a safe trip back.
Okay, thanks, Janice.
When we come back, a pipe broke and the plumber is in the basement. Is his bill going to give you a good soaking? An undercover report. And if that house looks like an old barn, you're right in style. We'll tell you why.
Whether you're saving for retirement or your first home, the dream to attain financial stability is the same for us all. The network to make those dreams a reality? CNBC. CNBC provides us with the knowledge to reach the goals we set for ourselves. No deal too great. No investment too small. CNBC. First in business worldwide.
There are millions of reasons to fly today. Only one that matters to you. At Delta Airlines, it is our pleasure to get you to the place you want to be. Delta Airlines, on top of the world.
Enwick, where were you yesterday? Didn't you get my pay?
Sorry, I was out of range. Airplane.
Didn't you get my page?
I was out of range. Tunnel.
Didn't you get my page?
Out of range? Subway.
Introducing Skyward Plus Guaranteed Messaging from SkyTel, the first paging service that stores your messages when you go out of range and automatically delivers them when you get back.
Let me guess. Alien abduction.
How'd you know?
So get Skyward Plus from SkyTel and get the message guaranteed.
This is CNBC.
Have more fun in bed. Have more fun in bed. Buy your bed at Klein Sleep and have more fun in bed.
It's Klein Sleep's Columbus Day sale. Take an extra $60 to $200 off on famous brand names. Incredible holiday savings store-wide. Now through Columbus Day only at Klein Sleep.
Come on into Klein Sleep and have more fun in bed.
First it rumbles.
Did anybody feel that?
Then it quakes.
Get everybody on a truck and get them out.
And before you know it, the excitement comes rushing home on pay-per-view.
This thing is going to blow.
He doesn't have enough time.
Pierce Brosnan, Linda Hamilton.
Don't look back.
Can they survive the fury of Dante's Peak?
We're not going to get out, are we?
An eruption of thrills crashes home on pay-per-view.
Welcome back. If you've ever had broken pipes or a backed up toilet, you know a plumbing emergency can lead to major hassles. Calling the wrong plumber can cost you thousands of dollars for needless repairs. Some plumbers are flushing your hard-earned dollars down the drain, as Cater Lee found out in this hidden camera report.
We called Rick Flores, a plumber recommended to us by the Better Business Bureau to help with our investigation. He intentionally cracked a piece of plastic pipe called a dip tube and slipped it inside.
When this tube becomes cracked inside the heater, which is a common problem, it will mix cold and hot together, which will give you a lukewarm situation. I would imagine that this repair would cost somewhere between $75 and $120.
So we called 4 different plumbers to see how much each one would charge. We called 2 who have numerous complaints filed against them with the Better Business Bureau. 2 we selected at random from the phone book.
Filterator doesn't give enough of water.
First on the scene, a plumber with George Brazil, a company with 83 complaints on file. After relighting the pilot light and checking the thermostat, he declared our heater was beyond help.
So you don't think there's anything else we can do?
There's nothing else we can do to fix it. It's a dead. No. How much was this going to cost? According to the estimate, $1,716.99 for a 50-gallon heater with a 10-year warranty, plus a $39.95 service charge on top of that. Our next plumber came from Electric Express. The Better Business Bureau has 33 complaints against them on file. This plumber said the thermostat and pressure valve were both bad and would cost a total of $611.94 to fix them. But if that didn't work, he said, he could replace the heater for $1,773.57. All that plus a $48 service charge. We went to the yellow pages for the next 2 plumbers. Rapid Plumbing Service couldn't explain why the water was lukewarm, but the plumber did recommend that we add a recirculating pump. Cost $1,125.
If you wanted a 10-year, that's no problem.
Things improved considerably, though, with the second randomly chosen plumber. He represented the Jack Steffens Company. Not only was he able to diagnose the problem correctly,
It might be the dip tube.
he also discovered the heater was still under warranty, but said if we wanted to replace it with a bigger one, he could do it for a very reasonable $438.
Well, this is for everything, including the...
Cater Lee's investigative unit spoke briefly to representatives from both George Brazil and Rapid Plumbing Service, but neither one ever called them back with a response. A representative from Electric Express told them, quote, "The whole thing's unfair, and we're not responding at this time." Well, now that you know what to expect before you're getting your tub repaired, how about a soothing bath? Not for getting clean, but as a relaxing mini vacation. Well, you can head to your kitchen for softeners that'll soothe your soap without soaking your wallet. Here's Diane Diaz again with details.
It's a way to escape from the stress and frenzy of everyday life. But are you making your bath everything it can be? Skincare companies know how beneficial a few minutes of soaking can be. And they've created an endless assortment of products to make a simple bath a luxurious experience. But you don't need to spend a lot of money. One of the best things you can use? Whole milk.
Milk is a #1 skincare product that is very calming to the skin, very healing.
Karen Matthews is the head esthetician at Burke Williams Spa in Santa Monica. She says baths should have 2 benefits, one for the skin, the other for the mind and soul.
Water is one of the most relaxing elements that you can use.
And the key to unwinding in the tub is aromatherapy. Bath salts are great for that. But so are natural herbs or dried flower petals like roses or lavender. Put them in a cloth bag and let them infuse into the bath like tea. In fact, another affordable alternative is a tea bag itself.
Chamomile tea is really nice in an infusion. It's very calming to the spirit, to the mind, and body.
Citrus fruit, oranges, limes, lemons, and grapefruit sliced up and thrown into the water can create a great fragrance and also help to detoxify. Seaweed works to rid the body and skin of toxins, too. Kitchen oils like almond or sesame oil can be combined with herbs to create an indulgent experience, but Karen says the most important bath secret to keep in mind.
Your ambiance is very important. Things like lighting becomes very important. Your music becomes very important.
Do whatever it takes to make your bath something that leaves you feeling brand new.
Karen Matthews also suggests you take enough cool-down time after your bath to ensure you don't jump back into your too stressful life too quickly. And finally tonight, the era of recycling has reached new heights. These days we recycle aluminum, plastic, and paper. But bet you didn't know there's big money in old wood. Well, our Michelle Tracy took a ride through the Maryland countryside. She's here to tell us why.
Neat story, Jan. You will never look at a barn the same way ever again. Vintage wood, as it's called, is popping up in homes and stores across the country. You may be standing on some right now. Tonight, we meet a man who's giving new life to that old wood.
Somewhere in the distance off America's back roads sit those great American icons, watching over the land like beacons. Their destiny in limbo while their tired old planks fall to the earth, waiting to be put out to pasture as American farms dwindle away. Ironic that this is their saving grace. A company built on the tradition of keeping its very wood alive also hauls it to the ground. Alex Grabenstein is founder of Vintage Woods.
Most people would say is firewood or trash. And if it's processed properly, it's the most beautiful of the wood because it's, as they say, it's been weathered by Mother Nature and Father Time.
Here in Maryland, the dismantled barns are laid to rest, waiting for customers to take them away. Old nails carefully removed before going to the sawmill.
Well, right now, they're using the metal detector, which is a regular treasure tracker, like you'd see used on the beach or in the Civil War sites, and they're finding any metal that might be in that beam.
The beams are sliced away, dried in a kiln, and then sorted.
And then it goes to the mill shop, which is a planing mill shop, and we fabricate the floor there.
Only to fade into the woodwork and to be stepped on day in and day out.
Well, this floor is held up quite well.
Architect John King incorporates the vintage wood in many of his projects, like this home in Colorado.
These beams were shipped from the West Coast back in the late 1800s all the way to New York. And Alex found these beams and refinished them for us, and they were shipped back to Colorado.
He also added the same finishing touch to his own home, using a wood that would have otherwise failed quality control.
The worms that were in this material were in it when it was in beam form, when they were in large timbers out of old buildings, old log cabins, old barns.
Private homes are not the only place you can step all over vintage wood. Timberland stores like this one in White Plains, New York, feature the recycled wood.
It looks much different than new lumber. It's much prettier, much more lustrous. Grain patterns are much tighter, and people get a feel of antiquity.
We paid about 25% more. It varies 15 to 30% or so. But the value in resale, of course, is going to make up for that.
The first time I saw a board go through a planer, which is a machine that will take the rough surface off and leave the finished surface, it was like a magic show.
a show-stopping $2 million a year business with a promising future. And as the old saying goes, all good things must come to an end. And in this case, a new beginning.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Vintage lumber is one of the country's largest wood recyclers. As we mentioned in our story, typically recycled wood will cost you about 2 to 3 times more than new wood flooring, and it is available at some retail stores. Or you can call Vintage Wood at 301-845-2500.
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
really
it's just beautiful and a nice way to see things recycled and good for the environment as well.
Good, and you brought some other items with you.
Yes, these beautiful birdhouses are made completely of recycled wood. They're manufactured by a fellow named Jim Fry. He's based in Maine. And they're not only good for the environment as well, but these are actual birdhouses you can put outside, even though I think they're too pretty. Well, you can put them in your house as well.
I think you should keep them. They're gorgeous. You have something else for this week you're working on?
Yes. Next week, with the help of Good Housekeeping magazine, we're going to be doing a story on fax machines, how to pick the best ones, plain paper versus the thermal paper. Just 7 years ago, fax machines costed as much as $700, and today you can purchase one for half that. So we're going to give you the do's and don'ts and get just the fax on fax machines.
So you can work out of your home.
You can work out of your home.
Like that.
Always in touch. They can find you everywhere.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
That's all for now, but also next week on Steals and Deals, they handed out over their vacation money, but most of them stayed home. It could happen to you. A special 2-part series. And if you're itching for a fun summer, we'll tell you how to spend your scratch on mosquito repellent. That's on Steals and Deals weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Janice Lieberman. Thanks for watching the best of Steals and Deals. And remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Have a good night.
They are more than 3,000 strong, the greatest names in business today, united in a mission to reach ever-increasing heights of success. For these world leaders, one marketplace is integral to their success, entrusted with the hopes and dreams of business and investors alike. The New York Stock Exchange, a proud part of what makes this country tick.
It wasn't much of a gift shop. It wasn't much of a fire. It was pretty much everything to Joe and Linda. It was gone pretty fast. A small, bright dot in the night sky, then nothing. And by now, someone may be watching this and saying,